This is Moe Murphy from Clarke County Sports, ClarkeCountySports.com. We're here at Clarke County High School with our annual pre-football coaches interview and pre-football show. It's a little different this year, a little time change. We're here with the Eagles athletic director and first-year head football coach, Casey Childs. Casey, I guess the first thing people want to know about is how COVID has affected the athletic program and practices, not being in school all the time. Could you just talk a little bit about how that's affected things?
Yeah, it's definitely affected it. A lot of times with out-of-season stuff, it's had to been like smaller pods, and you're not in very big groups, and you've got to preach social distancing, and you've got sanitation stations for your hands and so forth. Everybody's got to be masked when not in active participation. And early on that was kind of a struggle because kids weren't used to it, nor were coaches. But it's gotten a lot easier now. The kids have been great with it. The coaches have had a good job, done a great job collectively in regards to doing everything we do in regards to protocols. And then of course with sports, the whole atmosphere has changed in regard to sports because you don't have the same fans in events, and the benches are spread out, and you name it. So COVID has definitely affected athletics, and I think across the board, the numbers in regards to how many kids are actually participating are down a little bit due to COVID. So hopefully, when things start to get a little better and loosen up, that our numbers get back to where everybody is normally and typically at.
And I know Clarke's always had a large off-season weight program with the Iron Eagle program. Were you able to accomplish that this year?
Yes, we had a really good late summer and fall. And when the Virginia High School League opened up out-of-season practices or out-of-season workouts, so to speak, we were able to get in there immediately in the weight room after we put a lot of protocols in place. We got them approved through our school board office and Dr. Bishop. And then we jumped on it, and it was very small, which we're going to probably keep this after the COVID as well. It's really small groups. So it was a lot more specific instruction and teaching. So we were able to get in there, and then we got extremely strong. By the end of the time we got done testing before football, we had 8 kids that were Iron Eagles. I mean, probably been a little bit more, but we had our kids were playing basketball. So we weren't going to obviously test those kids while they're playing their in-season stuff. So we were able to get in the weight room. We were also able to go outside and do some stuff in the fall before the weather got bad. And we were able to do some stuff while social distancing and without really, touching each other and so forth. So we were able to get a lot of stuff accomplished even through the COVID.
Right. And just for people that don't know, what's the Iron Eagle Award? What's that entail?
The Iron Eagle is you get a trophy. It's really nice, a nice trophy that we give the kids. It's for 1,200 pounds of total max lifts in the squat, the bench, the deadlift, and the hang clean. So then, like this year, for example, we had 8 of those kids, but then we also had 2 kids test to be Platinum Eagle, which was 1,500 pounds or more. So, Wynn Morris and Trey Chenary, both of our tight ends, they both went over 1,500 pounds in 4 lifts. So we've gotten really strong. It's a sense of accomplishment when those kids can get to that Iron Eagle status. I know our kids are excited about getting that trophy, and we post it as much on social media as we can, and our kids get into it.
Yep. Now, can you just talk a little bit about your coaching staff? I know it's pretty much the same, and then a little bit on your key players, what we can watch for this year?
Yeah, obviously, with Coach Parker retiring and me getting the job, and our staff has stayed the exact same. There's not any changes or new additions to our staff, other than we do have Shane Markward on our staff now, who's also one of our baseball coaches. He teaches in our building or in our school system. So our staff is pretty much exactly the same. Everybody's, we're used to doing the same stuff. We're used to being able to know what each other is doing. So that's not going to change. Now, some titles have changed in regards to Coach Novick, who's been our freshman head coach for a number of years and calls the offense down there. He'll come up and take a lot of the offensive coordinator roles on. And then, we'll work together as a staff on a Friday night with our guys in the press box like we always do to be able to call plays where we think we can attack a D. So I'm really confident in Coach doing a great job with that. He's taking the role on in the start of football now that he's doing a great job with it. I'll still be running the defense, but the same concept with everybody else and our staff doing it. So we'll have a lot of cohesion in our staff. I'm not worried about that because, we've been together now since '07. So we've got a lot of years together. And then as for our team, I'm excited about it. We have a good mix of young and old. We returned some key guys up front on our offensive line, which is, when you run the single wing like we do, it's pretty good to have that. Now, we did lose a lot of yards with our backs last year between Colby, Peyton, and Danny. Those kids were like some record-breaking, stuff they did here at Clarke. So you can't say you can replace those kids, but I really, really like our skill kids that we have in. They're coming in with a lot of youth. Our quarterback, Matthew Sipes, a sophomore, extremely athletic kid. I like everything he brings to the table. And then, with Deontay Trammell and then Brandon Hyman, Dane Booker, and Kyler Darlington all in the backfield. I mentioned 4 or 5 names there. It's going to be by committee, and I like the fact that we have multiple guys that can go back there and play, and they're going to get time. So I'm excited about the stuff that those guys do. And then with up front, we return, of course, Luke Brumback, his brother Sam will be up blocking back, and you return Wynn and Trey as our tight ends. And Clay Welch is back off of a little bit of an injury, and then Jeremy Burns, who started a lot of games last year for us. So we're excited where we're at with the returning guys that we had with the new guys. And then defensively, we lost a lot of our back end, but those same skill kids that I mentioned ago, they're going to be in the back end of our defense. And I really like that with the addition of Brendan Moyer. I think he's come back out this year, basketball player. I like his athletic ability back there. And then, our second level, our linebackers are going to be really, really good. I like both the twins, Sam and Luke, are tremendous players. And then along with Wynn Morris, I really like those guys should do a really good job in our scheme. And then up front, we lost, Grayson Ailstock, who did great things at a nose, but we took a linebacker and we moving him to a nose, Liam Whalen, who's been swimming. And so those, we're like where he's at. And of course, Trey and Titus Hensler at our defensive ends. And then we'll have a rotation of guys at D tackle to try to keep his guys as much as fresh as we can. But that's been the struggle. It hasn't been the weather and it hasn't been the snow, even though it's not been ideal. But we've had basketball kids, wrestling kids, and swimmers that are all football players that are having to leave their league practice early to go to their in season because they still have states and everything else. Or the guys are coming or come late to practice. So that's been the hardest part of this whole COVID thing, is being able to try to juggle the fact that you don't have your kids there every day. So now that it's starting to wind down, I think, with the state events, we have some like swimmers, like Liam's going to dual sport because they don't have their March 6th is the state swim meet. So we got guys dual sporting and playing both, and that's been the struggle. But our kids have been great with it, and our coaching staff, in swimming and wrestling, and everybody's done it. Has been really, really accepting with it. So we're hoping for the best.
And I know the schedule's been amended, and a whole different look with the schedule this year. Can you just talk a little bit about your games and the playoffs?
We had a schedule change about 2 weeks ago. Once East Rockingham, which is in the Bull Run district, Rockingham County has a mask mandate, so they can't play anybody unless they wear a mask. And so the rest of our district schools are not wearing the mask to play them. So really, the game, we really couldn't play East Rock. Nobody in the Bull Run. So East Rock left our district just for this year, just for this season. They're going to play in the Valley District. And then all of us other schools are going to continue to play in the Bull Run. But everybody had to play somebody twice. So we just did basically the logical thing. Page County and Luray are both in Page County, so they're going to play each other twice. Stonewall Jackson and Strasburg, same district or same county in Shenandoah, they'll play each other twice, and then us and Madison were the outliers, so we're going to play each other twice. So that's how the schedule kind of worked its way out. And then in regards to your other part of the question about the postseason, we're still in the process of figuring out how many teams are going to be in the postseason. It's either going to be 4 or it's going to be 8. Really one of those two. So we're in the process of figuring out, but it's going to be based on PowerPoints. And so hopefully when it's all said and done, we'll have a chance to be in there when it's all said and done.
And then another big thing, what rules will there be about fans coming to the game, and is it available if online if they're not able to come?
Right. Well, the first part of that I'll answer is we do have the NFHS network. We added those this winter in our gym, which we're in now, and then also at the Feltner Stadium. So you'll be able to watch the games home and away, because the other schools have the network as well. So it's subscription based. You can either do it by month or you can do it for a calendar year. So that will be an option for people who cannot get to the games. But as for capacity, Governor Northam changed it last week to 250 people. And that's not including your players and your coaches and your game essential people. So on the road, each one of our players is going to be allowed 2 tickets, and it's all going to be run through my office in regards to purchasing. But each one of those guys gets 2 tickets for any away game. So their mom and dad can definitely go, or whoever they designate to go to that game. For home games, we're going to expand it and allow more, because we're allowed the 250. So we're going to allow more of our families in there to go to watch. And it's going to be done through a pre-sale, like I said a minute ago, through my office. And there's going to be a timeline that if they don't get them, then we will possibly open them up further outside of our football family, the community, and so forth. So everybody will have to kind of stay, just to get ready for announcements if they do come available and come open.
And since this is kind of the football preseason show, can you just talk about some of the success and some of the guys that are currently playing at the next level? I know we're starting to see more and more guys from Clarke be recruited. Can you just talk a little bit about
Yeah, I'm very proud to say. I mean, we had the good fortunes the last 2 years to do some clinics and about the single wing and what we do here at Clarke, and we started putting the numbers together. Since 2007, we've got 33 guys playing college football, and that's not including guys who want to play baseball and so forth that were football players for us. So we've had a lot of kids go play at the next level. And, currently right now, Brett McDonald, who played for us years ago, he's finishing up his senior year. Christopher Newport, we're excited he's getting to play. Jacob Peace is at VMI. They're playing this spring. Brian Wallace, obviously, tremendous player. He's at Charlotte in Conference USA, and he played, and plus he gets another year of eligibility. All these kids do. So those guys are playing right now. We've got Peyton Rutherford at JMU, Grayson Elstocks at Bridgewater College, and then of course we got some guys like Colby Childs is now playing baseball at Hood College. So we've got a lot of kids, and I hope I didn't miss anybody right there that are currently just Kellen Dalton's at UVA Wise kicking, and Baja's up in up north playing kicking as well up there. So we've got a lot of kids that are playing. And then Trey Chineri just signed the other, about a week ago to go to Bridgewater College as well. So we're really proud of all these kids, and we just had some kids finish up that were on the state title run year that we went to the championship game. A lot of those guys just finally finished up their careers in the last time we actually had football in 19. So we follow them constantly, and we keep track of them, and we just love to see the success that those kids have.
And I guess wrapping things up, can you just talk a little bit about Coach Parker, what it meant to work under him, and how you feel about stepping in? Because he's all that's been here since I've been around.
Well, it's funny, is Coach Parker, it's how far him and I go back. My senior year in high school, Coach Parker first got to Clarke County, and he was coaching football and baseball. So I had him as a teacher, and then back in 2007, when he was already coaching football and he was doing baseball there for a little while both, and then he just hung on to football. But in 2007, when a lot of our core staff got together, from the 2007 to now, and it's all contributed to what Coach Parker allowed everybody to do on our staff. He was tremendous. I mean, he allowed you to coach. He allowed you to coach a position. He allowed you to be able to be free enough to say something. Like if you thought something might work or do this or that, he was always open for it. And how we instituted the single wing many years ago, and and how we did it because of an injury, and then all the research that was done. And you know, Coach Parker was early on, was through some times in his career where things weren't the greatest, you know, and then my goodness, he was able to ride that wave to where we became really good. And hats off to him for everything that he's accomplished and every award that he's ever gotten or received, because he's deserving of all of them. But on a human level, he's one of the nicest men I've ever been a part of being around. And, you know, when he came in, I don't know, probably 2-3 weeks ago to clean out his office, or his room, because he's officially retired from teaching as well, we have a chance to, you know, to sit with him and talk to him, and just having him around again, just for that was awesome to see him. So obviously he means the world to all of us and our staff and in our program for sure.
And he was always like that with me as well. I mean, I've covered high school football for various newspapers, and I've had coaches after a game refuse to do an interview, or coaches that you didn't even want to approach. But regardless of whether it was a loss in the state championship or a big win, he was always, you know, waiting in the background till everybody was done. And then, so I know what you mean about him.
Yeah, he's tremendous. And like I said, I can't say it enough. He let me, you know, take a, you know, leadership role on early. And he never questioned one single thing we did on defense or this or that. He just said, do it. I trust you to do it. So, you know, hats off. Like I said again, he just tremendous man, and I wish him the best moving forward.
And then I gotta give props to my wrestling team too, just before we leave. But the state wrestling is tomorrow, Monday, down in Salem. We're not gonna be able to get there. Do plan on watching it on NFHS. Can you just briefly give us I know we got a lot of guys down there.
Yeah, we've got 8 guys that are going. We finished second in the region behind Strasburg 2 weeks ago, last time we actually wrestled, and then everything keeps getting pushed back due to the weather. So I know it's been tough on Coach Van Sice. I know it's been tough on the kids because they have to try to maintain weight for 2 more weeks where they're not wrestling. So I know it's tough. And then you throw in the fact that the other seasons have started, so these kids are trying to like manage time where they, you know, we have a handful, about 5 of those kids are still football players too. So they're coming in to do walkthroughs and then hitting the wrestling practice. So the commitment that those kids are showing to be able to do both of those things, it's tremendous. So, you know, tomorrow, hopefully, you know, the event gets off and they can get it in, and best of luck to all those kids that are participating down there.
Yes, sir. My sentiments exactly. Well, Casey, it was good talking to you. We'll be seeing you here in about 6 days at Madison.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
And another crazy year, but hopefully it's going to be, this will turn things around somewhat.
Yeah, we're looking forward to ringing the bell, you know, on the victory. So we're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, you heard that from the Eagles head coach and athletic director, Casey Childs. This is Moe Murphy. Excuse me, I'm not used to these masks. This is Moe Murphy signing off for ClarkeCountySports.com.
Thank you, Moe.
All right. And thanks to Doug Elstoff on camera.
That's